Hi, how are you? I'm here to talk a little bit about TYPO3 Inc. Maybe do a little bit of introduction. For those who don't know me, I'm Alain Veuve. That's as said already. I have been doing the preparation for the TYPO3 Inc. I have been involved in the first voting process we had back then in the previous year. And I will be following with the development of and establishment of the TYPO3 Inc. as well in the upcoming months. Other than that, I am working for AOE as part of the management team for Switzerland. And yeah, I'm interested in all things technology and TYPO3 obviously. And I don't know how many of you have been in Essen. Okay. Who of you? No. Is there a reason apart from the GA to go to Essen is the question. Oh, sorry. What I wanted to ask is, who does know what the TYPO3 Inc. is in detail? Because you see, I'm trying to evaluate if I really need to give that talk, or maybe we can just talk about something different. Yeah, then maybe if so many of you already know what the TYPO3 Inc. is and what the idea behind it is, I mean, usually there are questions, and I will just use the slides I have here to, yeah, a little bit share what the general ideas are, and feel free whenever you like just to ask questions or make comments, and maybe then we'll have some more of a lively discussion about the TYPO3 Inc. I think one thing is very important, and it is that the thing that has been a lot of work to discuss with community members, for me and for other people in the preparation group, is what is the positioning of the TYPO3 Inc.? Why are we doing this? And this is important because, especially important because the TYPO3 community has a long tradition in being very skeptical when it comes to corporations, when it comes to money, when it comes to structures, and all these kind of things that are typically represented by a incorporation. And I think the one thing that is core you must understand about the TYPO3 Inc. initiative is, that we are trying to abuse business for our cause. And why have we been coming to that decision? The thing is that the CMS world, along with the software world, totally changed from that moment when TYPO3 was big, back then in 2005, 2002, until now. What we have seen is that there are a lot of other vendors stepping into the market, and especially Drupal and WordPress, they just took a big bite out of that market. And in fact, it was not that we have not been able to grow as TYPO3. It was more like we didn't grow as fast as the others. And that's what led to the situation now, where we have been pushed back a little bit, and a lot of clients have been designing for other systems. Now, this is something that came in addition to problems that were generated by ourselves. Because, you know, the idea of having Neos or Phoenix or TYPO3 5 or whatever you want to call it, it was in its intention, it was very good. But in the doing, we have to admit, as a community, we somehow failed. I know this is black and white, and it's maybe super unfair to certain people who have been working a lot and gave a lot of energy into all this. But in the end, for us, as we ran into a problem which is typically called the second system problem. I think a lot of you know what that is. it is that when we have a success with a first product, you typically try to over-engineer a second product. That fundamentally started when the idea was to produce a new CMS. We ended up with having first a new framework. And I think we have been through all of that, basically. And we've been through that in a good way, from my point of view. Because in the very end, we were able to make a decision that sort of brought a solution, not a nice solution, because we all had wished that maybe there would be a joint community for both of the systems, both of the parties that have formed. But as we speak now, if I'm informed correctly, there is the Inspiring Con going on, and that means that still what is like a a failure for us as a community is something that has created something which is living and is going its own way, and we all have a lot of connections and friendships throughout the different parties. But in the end, this was very harmful for TYPO3, because when we needed resources and energy to invest into our product, what we had is that the energy and the money and the resources have been divided into two strings. And what happened is, logically, both of the strings got weakened. And that is something that we have felt that it's absolutely something that should not happening ever again. And the idea of the TYPO3 Inc. is to ensure that development of the TYPO3 product and the marketing will be guaranteed, sort of, in the future. So that we will not run into a situation where people are dropping out, stepping back from developing stuff on TYPO3, lowering their efforts just because they are not motivated anymore. On the other hand, I think today's markets are a lot more asking from its vendors. They put a lot of demand. And I think it's highly unlikely that you can be an important player in the market without professional marketing, for example. It's just going too fast. Our competitors are having more money, more skills, more people, and our answer to that would be that we still continue to do everything voluntarily is something which is a very nice idea, and it comes with big style. But in the daily work, it means that people have to choose between, am I going to do free work for TYPO3 or taking care for my kid? I know that's an extreme decision, but you all know that if in your daily lives you have to make decisions because you don't have time like 24 hours a day. And in the end, yes, of course, some do. I can relate. But the point is, I think the TYPO3 Inc. is here, and that's why we designed it like this, to ensure that people are able to work full-time on the TYPO3 product and on the marketing. And then there are other things, like we would like to establish quicker decision-making. Throughout the TYPO3 Association, and I know all of you had their headaches with the TYPO3 Association and the structure and the decisions and the communications and basically everything. It took a long time to get to points where things finally put into action. And that's, again, it's not something that people have not been interested or have been willing to do something. It's more like that the structures have been so complicated that a fast decision-making was rather problematic. And that's what the TYPO3 Inc. should fix as well. And the third point is that our calculations show from all the ecosystem we have in the TYPO3 universe, we think that we all generate a revenue of about 500 million euro a year. So take all the services, all the agencies are bringing to the customers, multiply that these hours with some standard rate, and you'll end up with these 500 millions globally. That's a big chunk of money. Even compared to to other vendors. We have to be clear. And what comes back to the production and to marketing has been this 700,000 that goes through the TYPO3 Association. That's something we can measure. And there is a lot of free work that's going into the product. But add another 700 to it, and you end up having 1.5 million that's coming back from the ecosystem. That's an incredible low rate of return for developing our product further. And the TYPO3 Inc. should change this in a good way, basically. Do you have any questions? You have? Huh? Yeah. Okay. And so, yeah, sure. So it's not about convincing; it's about explaining. The thing is, and I think it's important that and that have been the questions in the past 20 days most about was that. What is the TYPO3 Inc. doing to the market? Is it biting? I mean, I think we have been able to explain that at the GA and in the webinar before, but there are still, or some people have been uncovered. And the point is, no, we are not biting into the market. We are not taking anything away from the agencies. In contrary, we're trying to help anyone in the community, but. And we are not fighting against a TYPO3 association or whoever in the ecosystem. Indeed, we are an operational, the TYPO3 Inc. must be seen as an operational leg of the TYPO3 association. And that's even more supported or more fundamentally understood if you know that the TYPO3 association is fully owning the TYPO3 Inc. So it's basically one unit separated in two legal entities.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Do you know, or can you remember that TYPO3 ever tried to attract U.S. investigators, or U.S. finance investigator, or that
investors,
investors, or that some others like Drupal or WordPress did?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this?
Actually, I've been talking. I've been.
Huge difference. I think we need to deal with the Acquia versus Drupal Inc. situation, because everybody thinks Acquia is Drupal Inc. There is no Drupal Inc. There's Acquia, which is the biggest vendor that does Drupal, and the lead developer works there, but it's not the official entity behind Drupal. It's a common misconception, and we run across.
Are you familiar with Flow Native?
Yep.
Flow Native is the Acquia of Neos. That's maybe a little bit hard to fast yes to follow, but that's what the situation is. The core developer or the main guy, Dries, is founder and CTO of Acquia, which is an implementation and supporting partner. But the project itself is open source. Now, to your question about investors, the fun thing is you're looking for investors in the US, but you get looked after with investigators after you're successful in the US. So maybe Volkswagen can tell you a little bit about that. The point is that I've been talking to a lot of venture capitalists because the original idea was that we are going to fund the company with outside investors because we did not see that there's a way to do it internally within the ecosystem. And a long story short, explained shortly, it was just that they're saying we are very interested to invest into that venture, but of course we are interested for we're in for financial results. So we need to have an outcome. Maybe we sell the company, that would be the preferred thing, and that was totally against our strategy because then we would be very dependent on a lot of things. And as I'm a little bit familiar with the VC world, that can get really crazy sometimes because it's all about profit, it's all about deals, it's all about situations, opportunities, and this is absolutely not where we would like to end up. So we dropped that as soon as we saw there are viable ways to go without that funding.
Nevertheless, I think some investors, maybe it's already too late, but some investors would be interested also in TYPO3 and to put in a lot of money.
Well,
and
to what end? To then sell the company 2 years down the road? Your core team is gone?
the point is
How venture
that,
capitalism works.
yeah, there are
You
two
build the
things.
company, you get the cash, you need to grow 500% 3 years in a row, then they sell.
That's there. We did not find anybody who is in just for ideological reason. I've been talking to some people at Google. They said, well, for us, could be a strategic initiative because we want to support that. But just 4 days later, they came up with ideas like, well, we can send developers, you can send developers to us, we could do marketing stories, we can do whatever. What traditional companies do. And again, that could be a great thing, of course, but it puts you, it doesn't keep you independent. And so we're coming from a mindset where we say we want to be transparent, we want to be free, we want to be ideologically independent, into a situation where we have one of the biggest corporations in the world, with all the big money behind that, influencing us. That just felt plain wrong, to be honest, and that's why we didn't follow up that thing. So it's still an option to do this, but we implemented it the way that the General Assembly of the TYPO3 Association, basically all of you who are TYPO3 Association members, need to approve it. And I think that's only fair. So we can do basically whatever we like, but the majority of people must agree to that. And it's not upon just a couple of guys deciding, okay, now let's do that. I think this is the right way, especially when we find out that there is a good way there's a good way to fund the TYPO3 Inc. without having outside investors. And I have one remark. The problem is, in the startup world as well, money is not so much of a problem. Once you have a great idea and the potential on the market that has potential, money is not so much the problem. The problem is, are you able to spend the money efficiently and to get the energy onto the street to really move forward? And that has to do with having the right people, having the right mindset, having a lot of these things. And I have been running into a lot of situations where we had enough money, but putting things into reality was quite the harder job than having the money. And I think as we are now starting, it's exactly the same. It's not really the problem. The money is not really the problem at the moment. It's more like finding the right people, making the right move in the right order, make it in an efficient way. And I think this is the kind of stuff that it's hard to deal with.
But I think it's for some companies it's the strategy, scaling. They like Facebook is one example. Facebook didn't invent social media, but they put in a lot of money, and then they had the scaling effect, which everyone is now using. And this might is not. Don't you see somehow a danger that this might also happen to some other?
No, well,
systems?
frankly, no. Frankly, no, because you look at Drupal, how much money they have invested into something that's, from a technology point, rather simple. Sorry to say, guys, but it's CMS. It's not a new artificial intelligence platform, and they put a lot of money into it, and I think they're growing at the highest pace they can, and I think it's not about the money that they can't go faster. It's about doing the things in the market, doing the right things, convincing people that the system is good, that there's the right ecosystem, that they have the partners and all these kind of freaking shit you need to tackle. So I'm not afraid. I would be more afraid if there would be a new competitor, for example, a new company in there, from people that are very, very focused on doing something really new, something that is competing, disrupting CMS as we know it, and they have sufficient funding. When I say sufficient funding, I mean 10 million would be enough, to be frank. So if such a player is coming, that's what would me make fry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move forward. The core business model. Who does not know that?
Everybody does.
Everybody does. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, good. Very good. Okay. So I have basically two or three slides for the core business model. We have had a very long explanation of different things. What is important to know is we have 3 pillars, 3 revenue streams, if you want to call them like that. The one would be that we are aiming for having a good partner network. Right now we have the professional services listing, we have the agencies, we have the members. And what we think is that in the longer run, what we must have is a partner network that can be, a partner can be different kind. The most typical partner would be an agency, of course. And we would like to work with the agencies in order to improve the acceptance of TYPO3 in the market, of course, to improve excellence of delivery, for example, and of course to drive a lot more business to the agencies, because I think this is the most crucial part. If the agencies can do a good job, can get a good living from TYPO3, TYPO3 in itself will benefit a lot. But partners could be of different kind, like industry partners, for example, like the partnership we had, or we have been starting, or is sort of running with Microsoft. There will more are to follow of this kind. And the good thing is, money flows usually is coming towards us and not going from us to the partners. So we're looking for some alliances with bigger customers, bigger industry partners. I think this is a good thing, basically, to develop business, strategic things, and yeah. And then, of course, we have some others, like the hosters. We want to work more closely with hosters. We have like a certification program, these kind of things in mind. That's really things we cannot start right out of the box. We need to talk in detail, because detail matters when it comes to these kind of programs. And we have to develop together with these partners, these kind of programs and stuff. And then, what we have on the right is donations and events. I don't think I need to explain a lot more. The core thing you need to take with you is that big events are big money. So, for example, the TYPO3 Con, like we had it last year, it was not so big money. But if we had doubled the attendees there, it would have resulted in 200,000 or 300,000 euro profit. So it's really about scaling. And you all know that double the people could have been in the rooms there. That's absolutely not a problem. So we would not have a lot of more cost to do that event. As we're growing the ecosystem, having more people in there, more people are coming, we are able to make more money with the events. Same goes for donations. Although we do not want to be aggressive when it comes to asking for donations. I don't think this is something that's cool. Yeah. And the most important part is this marketplace thing. Why is this important? It's important because it's the only way we can scale without adding significant human resources and cost spent to the whole project. And this is a long-term initiative. The idea behind it is that we are building up a really super cool marketplace and make it the single first point of entry for anybody that wants to have something with TYPO3. Whether this is whether the guy or the girl is looking for a new job or is looking for new developers. Whether he's looking for an extension, or a tutorial, or a certification, or a training, or whatever you can imagine that has some ties or some relation with TYPO3 should be able to be found in the marketplace. And there should be free products, and there should be products that come with a transaction or come with a fee, of course. I have learned the hard way that we do not share code enough in the community, especially when it comes to extensions. And ironically, one of the solutions would be to make that code like payable. I don't say I mean, it's free basically from a legal standpoint, but a lot of agencies told me if we are able to collect money for an extension, we would finish the extension code to a level where it can be reduced in a good way, which today, I mean, you all know it's the difference between code that is ready for production and the product. That's totally different thing. And this is the hope for that is, and I have some people told me, actually, if there is a possibility that I can sell my stuff easily, then I will try to put together a lot of good extensions, and we will refrain from the project business, because for smaller agencies that is a viable strategic way to go. So this is one thing. The other thing is, and this is some sort of a quick win, that we want to go for SLAs, enterprise SLAs. And in many ways, the work that Mattes and his team did in the past 18 months was a perfect proof of concept for some things that we suggested now in the TYPO3 Inc. plan. For example, one of the theories was that we can, with bigger clients, we can build them an SLA, a vendor SLA, and they are ready to pay that. They are willing to pay for SLAs. This is something I've experienced in my own career, if you want to call it like this, various times, that we ran into situations with bigger corporations. They ask us, gosh, we need a vendor support contract. And they asked them, why do you need that? And they said, it's here, it's written on the compliance checklist. I need to be able to check this point. So please provide me with a contract. And in various cases, we did that from AOE. We just said, we're going to give some super support, basic SLA, but there have been various occasions where the legal department realized that AOE is not the creator or vendor of TYPO3. And so they came back to us and said, what the hell is going on? Who can do that? And basically, as you know, nobody can do that. And that developed into some sort of a problem. A very perverted problem, in my opinion, because if somebody wants to give you money and you are saying, no, I don't give it just because I don't take it just because I can't. I mean, and you would need it. That's super stupid somehow. And what we saw with the ELTS was that a lot of companies are able and willing to give money to the TYPO3 project that are not agencies and that are not sponsors and that are have no other relation to TYPO3 than just being a user of the system. And that was very motivating, I felt, because Mattes got a lot of clients that said, we're taking, for example, we're taking the bigger package from ELTS, although we would not need it, but we want to give something back. And a lot of things you did intuitively was some sort of a proof of concept for elements we had in the TYPO3 Inc. And we believe that in the first months we can close some clients on the vendor SLA. And vendor SLA is something no agency can provide. It's only the TYPO3 core team basically that can really provide that. And we are now having the legal structure that we can do that legally as well. So we think that this is something where we start, and the SLA will just be one thing in the TYPO3 marketplace. And the TYPO3 marketplace is here for all the people out there, for the agencies, to bring their products and to market it on the marketplace. we do all the transaction stuff, all the software stuff, all the promotion stuff, just because we have the brand. That's what the asset of the TYPO3 Association is. And what we do is we take a small percentage from all the transactions that are going through the marketplace. And if this is growing, we are having a source of money that is helping us to grow TYPO3 on the one hand, independently from a cost factor, from a labor cost factor on the one hand, and on the other hand, we are helping the TYPO3 ecosystem to leverage on the collaboration and on sharing stuff. I think this is some win-win-win situation, which is always very good. On the spending side, it's very simple. 50% should go into the product, another 30% should go into marketing, and then we have 20% for some other stuff. I think the rate of the other stuff the percentage will drop dramatically as we don't need so much money for infrastructure and administration and all these kind of things. We try to keep everything very, very lean because that's just the way to go. Then we have. No. It was inappropriate, or? Okay, good. Oh no, okay. The thing is, that's basically the team. I think we have been talking about that for quite a lot already, and that's why I love to skip it. Basically, the idea why we go with Mattes and Benny is very simply because they proved already they can do it. At least the dealing with the teams, the bringing velocity into the project. That's we all seen that. And basically now we have to do the startup shit. Add to that, but I'm very confident that we can do that.
Dave called.
CFO is Chief Marketing Officer?
Yeah, it's still vacant. We have some options now. We're recruiting, and we think that we might close that rather soonish. Yes. Okay. One important thing I want to point out, and then I'm trying to approach landing, is about the initial plan with the budgets. Because when we had the first voting, the idea of the TYPO3 Inc. was that we would take all the budgets that the TYPO3 Association have and put it into the TYPO3 Inc. And as we have been talking to various people out there, we have been realizing this is something which is problematic. And on the other hand, we have realized that we can do the TYPO3 Inc. without all the budgets. So the plan, the change that we have been making and what have been voted for now is that only the CMS budget, which is around 300 to 350,000 euro, should go into the TYPO3 Inc. because the TYPO3 core team is in the TYPO3 Inc. more or less organized. So it's only fair that this money is going there. Another 300,000, which is normal TYPO3 income, TYPO3 Association income from memberships, will be kept within the TYPO3 Association, and there will be a normal budgeting process, as we all know that. Hopefully not so complicated as in the past. We'll be working on that, of course. But basically, the idea is that still if somebody has a good idea and needs some play money for that, he can apply for a budget, and the TYPO3 Association will most likely grant it. So this is a big difference. We still have two entities, two budget operations. And the reason why this is possible is because of one thing, or two things. The one thing is that the TYPO3 Association will make a one-time invest of 500,000 euros. this is not something you have to imagine like we are wiring 500,000 euros to the TYPO3 Inc. It's more like a credit line, and the TYPO3 Inc. will take some money if it's needed. And on the other hand, there will be a one-time membership campaign where we are going to ask the agencies now to pay some double membership fee, one-time double membership fee. We already did a survey. Results were that almost 70% are willing to pay a one-time double fee, and we're counting on that this is going to be the case. And of course, it depends on results we are going to deliver as well. So I see that as a campaign that's going over months, and that we're dealing this with different companies. As a result, we will have an investment line of 900,000 euros, and that's way enough to start a company like that. It's basically, this is too much. The point is, the point is there is always this trade-off between going fast, taking risks, or going slow and not wasting a lot of money. And we think that it's important to have the possibility to do things that we think are right for in the longer term, but they are not immediately paying back any return. That's when you go into a loss situation. And we prefer that to do whenever we think this is right, prefer over just doing like we need to have a payback in 3 months, which is basically leading to very short-sighted decisions. And it's exactly not what we can use for the future of TYPO3, this sort of short-sighted thinking. It's more that we need to have a strategy, we need to have building up revenue streams, and especially when it comes to the TYPO3 marketplace, you all know that this will be a very complex software, and you all know what this is going to take some months, even a year of development and stuff to get it done the right way. So this is something I think it's very beneficial, and that's why when we realized that we do not need any outside investors, basically, because of course it would be nice if we would have 2 million, but what from my experience is if you start small and you have a lot of money, you tend to not try to find the best solution money-wise. And this is not something, I think the TYPO3 Inc. team owes the community and the association members that sort of efficiency, you know? And that's why I'm very happy with this number, although I think it's already quite high. So it gives us enough flexibility, but it's not too much to be very laid back in the building up of the organization. Do you have any questions? When is my time off?
10 minutes.
Ah, good.
5 now.
Good. Do you have any questions?
Will there be more people in the Inc?
Will be more?
People.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. We try to raise the number of staff continually. The numbers you saw with the 5 million. This is in the end of the of a 5-year plan, basically. So we're not going to make 5 million revenue in the first year. I mean, if we do, we're all happy, but I think it's not something that's going to happen. But the end would be that we are staff of 40 full-time. So 40, yeah. And I think that would be quite a fair operation. Yeah.
40 or 1?
40. Yeah. I think that's something which is not really new to do. Any other questions? To keep the team together. Now, what is important is that we see ourselves as a product, as a technology product company. And so we are not sort of selling anything directly like the sales approach. We do not sales campaigns or call people up or anything like that. It's more like we do marketing for a product. And I think the importance of what is important is represented in in the spending structure as well, where you see that 50% should go to development, and another 30% should go to marketing. What you have to have in mind is that if we put 50% of all money into development, that will mean a lot more people will work for development than for marketing, because a lot of these 30% basically is marketing spend for stuff that, media and whatever might come with that. I can see your concerns, but I do not think it will be a huge issue. We will find out, because it depends a lot of the people you have in the company. Yeah. Basically, I think it's important to see that the product team is setting the direction, and it's not setting the direction like this, not looking left what the market is doing, or at the right with looking what the user is wanting. I think we have a team already for quite 2 years or 18 months that is looking like this. Like everyone can chip something to Mottes, and he will respond to that. Sometimes he will say, "That's plain stupid what you're telling me," but he will try to explain. And a lot of these explanations has convinced me. So whenever I came to Mottes and asked him, "Did you think about this?" In 90% of all situations, he said, "Yes, we did. And it's for us, we see it this way, this way, this way, this way, and this is the result." And I could relate to that, and I could say, "Okay, I got it." And then the other 10%, he was like, "Oh, okay, let me think about this." So what would alert me is if some people from the more technical side or for the product side would think, "I don't care," or would tell me the world outside is working in a different way. So, where there's no discussion. I think we had some tradition in product development in doing that, because we were a little bit failing in having the input from the users. And I expect that to further improve. And on the other hand, the marketers in the organization, they just have a product. So they are not trying to position the product in another way. They have very basic tasks to do, like making sure that in every country we have a marketing representative who can tell who are the agencies that we can talk to, that we can enlarge our network, that we can put these people together, and maybe we can start a breakfast event for clients in Bratislava, for example. Things like this, minor things. Yeah? We need to be on the ground with marketing, and it would be totally the wrong way to go with big ads campaign or whatever. It's totally out of range, and it's the wrong thing to do. For this moment, we really need to connect people, to try to work together. We're still a community that is based on sharing things and collaboration, and that's not anything you would change with that. I think it's a fundamental task of the TYPO3 Inc. to leverage on these connections, on what made TYPO3 great. And so to say, I'm not really worried. I can see what you're saying, but I'm not worrying about these kind of things.
I have an agency and I sell SLA to my clients, and then TYPO3 Inc. starts selling SLAs.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm interested in is what is the relation between those?
It's very easy.
Do you have the slide?
No, I caught it. I caught it in the plane because I thought, damn, I talk about this. It's so nitty-gritty detail. But it's exactly. Yeah. I can draw that. It's been some time I have been drawing. What we've been saying is that there is a extension and customization part of the project. There is a hosting part and operation. So many of the project. Huh?
Do you have a black pen?
I spared a black pen for the descriptions. There's only 2 colors. What should I do? Yeah, I know. I'm very sorry.
But luckily it's easy to understand.
Yeah. And this here is the core. Is it clear? Okay.
You just need to pay attention when you look at it.
They all do. And I think what we're seeing is that this is, in short, this is the part of the agency. And this one is something the agency could never give, because it's core SLA. Basically, you can do that. You can go in the core and fix something in the core and say, I did it. But it's not the right way. And legally, it's not your code. I mean, is somebody doing this? Taking warranty for the code for his customers? I mean,
What you do is that we install all the updates and patches are from the core available. Somebody has to install them.
absolutely.
To do the work, and then the will do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We don't touch the system. It's an SLA for, we have a bug in the core, you want to report it. And you get feedback on these kind of things. It has nothing to do with server level stuff where you do upgrades or anything, because that project work anyways. This is not our thing. It's just about supplying the SLA that's written down in the requirements of a client, right? So we will not touch your code. But we will
Not.
Facilitating agencies.
Exactly.
Facilitating the agencies would help.
Yes, of course,
their
of course.
customers. Yeah.
So the thing could be that we get a report of an error in the core, we take a look and we realize it's actually an error made in the implementation. And we can then, of course, tell the agency, look, if you do this and this and that, now we have this same salary, right? So it's not about doing anything an agency does today, because that would be stupid. Agencies are our multipliers. We need to look.
now for free.
No. We have to be careful and different between two things. One thing is doing the actual work of maintenance, providing SLA, providing support. This is still on the agency side. And the other thing is liability warranty, these kind of things. And that's what we are doing. What we are doing for the core. We did it anyway. In real life, we did it. If nothing will change in operations. But the new thing is that we are providing a piece of paper and a bill, and we collect money to have it. That's a very hypothetical product. But this is how vendor SLAs work. Yeah.
That paper creates work for the dev team. Really work that they say, I have this paper, so repair it for me.
Yes, that could be, of course, but we do the work anyway.
That's
We
complex.
fix anyway. That's part of the product improvement and product management. We need to do it anyway. So
Unhappy clients will switch to something else. And this is why we as a core team have to make, well, your clients happy. Because if the core broke something, the team is, like everything all pencils down and just going to fix that in terms of regressions. And this is the stuff that we can totally handle. Plus, not every SLA needs to go with the time to fix.
yeah, we will have
So,
different
another thing.
we will have different models there. And the other thing really is that we think that it's nobody should be obliged to do that SLA, of course. So this is an option for the client. It's absolutely not mandatory at all. So, but what you can get as an agency is that you may be offering that to the client. We have not defined that in detail, but this is something we have in mind, of course, that you go to bigger clients where you know that might be something which is worth for them, and offering them, look, there is a vendor SLA contract. It's from the TYPO3 Inc. It adds more security assurance to the project, and take it or leave it. You're not at all obliged to. And some of the bigger clients maybe will do that, and you could get a margin out of that. That's because it's distribution things as well. Yeah.
It's like something like MySQL does. You have this, if you use TYPO3, you have the free MySQL.
Mhm.
If you want to have a
Exactly, exactly. The product will be the same and it will be free forever, and we're not going to change anything into that direction. But we have realized that there are companies out there that are in desperate need of this contractual piece. And so
we meet TYPO3 last week in Hamburg, we got the same results. So we asked
yeah, excuse me.
We asked the people that were at the conference, like, what can TYPO3 do for you? And they were like, we need SLAs. Can you please supply SLAs? Which was funny because I had the TYPO3 Inc talk after that. And I had to start with, okay, these slides were done yesterday. But basically everything that was requested was in there, except the block functionality. This is, I mean, I sold an SLA to a bigger client, not for TYPO3 the core, but for the stuff that we built on top of that. And it was a huge one, like I think like 15 grand a month. And they signed it, and I was like, okay, so now do you want to, I can walk you through where can you report issues? And the client was like, what do you mean? I don't want to report issues. I need this in my paperwork. So when the controlling guy from Italy shows up, I can tell her that.
There it is.
We're done.
Do you already have like a ballpark figure on how much these SLAs will be?
We have, but we are not sort of aligned.
Sure, we still need to take the plans and throw them into the reality check to actually see what happens. But truth be told, we're going to have like models that start quite low and then scale upwards to get to everybody. The only variables or the only knobs we can turn on SLAs is basically reaction time and or time to fix, or hourly rates on time to fix. These are the cogwheels that we can actually turn on that, and these need some tweaking.
What about it's just we might not be able to fix?
There is no time to fix.
So it's not you don't.
Thank you for your report.
It's like that.
The milk comes when it comes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me step into the last. Let me step into the last thing I want to give to you. It's about, because all of you have some contact with agencies, and I think what can the TYPO3 Inc offer to the community in the next few months, and it should be like, of course, sales and business development opportunities. That has a lot to do with a better lead management, because if we are going to compete with other vendors, we are not looking so good, because the other vendors, they put tremendous efforts into caring about potential clients, walking them through, and making sure they are doing decisions. They are just making a decision for their system. I'm not going into detail, but we have various plans and ideas, and we will share that before we do anything, so that we get a lot of input for that. But it must be clear, everyone should be taking care that if a customer has once taken TYPO3 into the evaluation, that TYPO3 is going to win the game. And which agency in the end is going to make it, it's not so important, should not so important be for every one of us, because it's a lot better if your competitor is doing a project with TYPO3 than a competitor is doing the project with like WordPress or Drupal or whatever. So sales and business development is extremely important. Marketing and event opportunities, I mean, I don't have to tell you a lot about that. Except maybe what I try to explain a little bit about micro events together with agencies. I think this is something we can accelerate generate gravity in the market with a little effort, and that produces good results. For example, if you in your agency have the idea, I want to have a little bit of a talk about TYPO3. There should be TYPO3 officials. I mean, this is a big thing we now have. We have officials from TYPO3 that you can sort of order to your events. And this is something to make TYPO3 more present for clients, because this is something which is a need at the client base. Clients love us. we really need to see a lot of clients love TYPO3. And until now, we lacked a little bit that we care about that relation. And so whenever you feel like it would be great if I could do a little breakfast event, for example, that's something super cheap, and where customer come, maybe only 5 or only 4 customers, and we tell a little bit something about product development, about what we have been doing, and we will be not shy to tell about problems and how we address them. Just come back to us. I think we have money to fund that. We have things to help, and this is, I think, the baby steps we can start, basically, beginning of first week of May. And then there are training and education opportunities. The idea behind that is that you can send in developers to our team, that they can run with the core team for a certain period. And I coined that expression just before we talked now, exchange program. The idea may be that we make that a little bit more of a bigger program where you really can send your junior developers to the TYPO3 core team, and they run or live with the team for a certain period, like 3 to 4 weeks, or maybe even a little bit longer. And we get free work on the one hand, and the other hand, what you get back is a developer who has been working with the pros at the core team, and who has been able to benefit a lot from the experience that the team has. So this are the things that we are thinking that maybe we can start them right in a short manner. The long-term goal behind this is that we still have this TYPO3 house that we have been mentioned in the first voting, where we really had the bigger building, where we can hold all the GAs, where we can hold code sprints and all these kind of things. A really cool location, but this is for the later future. Next year maybe, yeah, okay. Because I think that we buy the imperfect house, exactly. That's cool. Yeah. You're talking my language, exactly.
But there's no helicopter platform.
Yeah.
We can build one.
I see there's not. We do not have a lack of ambition. That's good, because that's basically driving. Yeah. So this is it. Short run through. We're at the beginning. Basically, we have a kickoff meeting next Tuesday. We had some legal preparation done. We had some, all the paperwork and shit. And this discussion has been happening between the GA and now. And we will have the operational kickoff on Tuesday in Düsseldorf. And whenever you have ideas on things, just feedback to us. And what we have decided as well is that from now on, Matthias is going to be the representative more of the project. So I expect this to be one of the very last talks I have in regards of the TYPO3 Inc. for now. Maybe we run out of time and then I will jump in. But the idea is really to switch that, because I was sort of representing the project, the TYPO3 Inc. project, the preparation process in the past 1.5 years, or 2 years, and now it's time to move on and to really go out to the clients, out of our inner circle, and we think that Matthias is the guy who should be the face of this movement. Even nicer now with new glasses and the beard.
Because of my huge mouth.
Okay, so Q&A session. We have minus 14 minutes. Is there any question left? So, thank you very much.